Are you one of those people who uses a random color to design your templates every single time instead of having a designated hex code for your brand? Come on, let's go. Welcome to today's episode of Make It Your Own Design Academy. And today we're going to talk about brand colors, partially. So, before we get started, my name is Cynthia Akita, and I am your brand strategist and brand and web designer here at the Design Pharmacy. And again, I want to talk to you about your brand colors. So, listen, I don't know how many times I've gone in to make something for someone, for a business owner, and I say, "Hey, what are your brand colors?" And they say, I don't know. I just pick whatever color is there on the color wheel. If it's blue, I just pick another shade of blue. If it's brown, I pick another shade of brown, so on and so forth. And I'm just like, no, ma'am, no, sir, we can't do that. We can't do this, you guys. We cannot do this. You guys need to have designated colors for your specific brand that people can see and know that it is attached to you. So, I don't want to overwhelm you. I think it's perfectly fine for everyone to start off with just one color. One color can give you a range of flexibility. And I know you're probably saying, how can you possibly have a range of flexibility if you're only using one color? Well, I'm going to show you how. But before I show you how, I want to explain that there are so many shades and tints that you can use. And you're probably looking at me like, what in the world did she just say? Yes, shades and tints. That's when you add some whites to a color or you add some black to a color to make it darker. So imagine you're at a paint night, like sip and paint, those types of things, right? And depending on what you're painting, the artist may ask you to put a dab of a specific color. Let's say that color is yellow. Put a dab of yellow, add a little bit of white to it, mix it up and make it a little bit lighter, right? And there may be a time where they ask you to add in a darker shade, maybe a little bit of black to make that yellow a little bit darker. And so the same applies digitally as you have your different hex codes. Now, you're saying hex code. What in the world is a hex code? A hex code is I want to say 6-digit code, or it's not just numbers, it includes letters, and it's used to identify a color. Now, there are millions of colors in the spectrum, and we cannot just pick and identify one and expect it to be the same one every single time. So, the hex code allows you to identify the specific color at a specific point in the hex universe, is what I'm going to call it right now. So think of it like longitude and latitude, right? It tells you the exact point where someone is located. And your hex code does the same thing, but for a color choice. And so that's how you can kind of understand what a hex code is. So every hex code starts with a hashtag sign or a pound sign if you're, you know, a little bit older, and you have, again, the 6 digits. They're either numbers or alphabets. And they identify a specific color that you can either use, whatever, do whatever you want with it, right? So for most people know that white is hash. Most people know that white is hashtag FFFFFF. And then black is hashtag 0000000. So that's just one example or two examples technically of hex codes. And there are a plethora of other combinations that pinpoint different colors. So again, going back to having your very own color scheme, or right now we're starting with just one color. Don't overwhelm yourself. We're just going to use one color. And I want to show you a tool that I absolutely love and use all the time. I want you to go ahead and pick one color for your brand. If you know that you're going to be using blues, pick that one blue that you know you can use over and over. And then I want you to head over to jeans.app. So let me open that up for you in a second. All right, so here we are, and let me show my face so that you guys can see me. Hello. So we have jeans.app. So you'll see jeans on the screen, in case you're wondering how to spell it. You see jeans and then dot app, and then it'll bring you here. You give consent, and then you're going to click let's start. Now, the great thing about this is it's just such an amazing tool that allows you to see all types of colors. It even tells you the name of the color. And then it gives you all of the tints and shades of different saturations. It allows you to kind of put together your own type of palette in a way. And so we're going to click that plus sign. And you can see on the screen, it always starts off with a color, whether it's one you asked for or not, it's just going to show up one color. And so the color for today is light orchid. Again, it gives it a name. And you'll see the hex code here in this box right here. So I'm just going to go with the hex code that they gave us here. But if you wanted to choose a different one, you could either use the color spectrum here to decide what you're kind of thinking of or wanting to go with, or you could put in the hex code yourself. But I'm going to confirm the color here, and we have light orchid. Now, if you see here on the side, you'll see all the different saturations of that light orchid color. And you'll see here in the middle, the square is what the true color looks like, and the hex code. And then again, you'll see all the saturations. So you'll see on this spectrum here that you have the blacks or the darkness here. And then on the right side, you have white. And so it's showing you different points along that spectrum from the black to the white. And the hex code that you choose will be, it'll fall right in the middle there. Now, what you can do is go ahead and, yes, have that middle hex code, which is your your main color. And then go ahead and pick a couple more out of this kit right here. I'll just call it a kit. So what I like to do is you don't always have to use white. So white is a very clean and beautiful color, and it allows you to take a break from so much color, right? So you can have white, but you should also have an alternative from the white. And so I typically like to go with the lowest saturation here, which if you click on it, it'll actually copy the hex code and you can paste it um, into your notepad or wherever you need to paste it for that moment. And then sometimes I like to go in between the lowest saturation and the actual color. And so you can choose between these two, which one you'd like to go with. Again, click on it and it'll copy the hex code for you. And then I like to go ahead with the dark. So a lot of you like to use, or I mean, no fault of your own. We all typically like to use like straight black for our text. But did you know that you actually don't have to do that? Like you can actually use the blackest form of the color of your choice instead of black, because many times black is very sharp. Like it's black is black, like you cannot compare to it. It is black, it stands out, you can see it, but that starkness also makes it a little bit irritating to the eye at times. And so what you can do is choose the black of your designated color, which shows all the way up here. And so you can click on that and copy it and use it as your text and use that across the board on all of your designs on your website. Wherever you have text, you can use that color versus just straight black. And it'll add a little bit more depth to your design because it'll make people wonder a little bit. Like they may not realize it at first, but I think down the line when they compare and contrast, they'll see, oh wow, that's not really black, but I like that it's just not so like in my face. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. But anyway, this is a tool that I just love to use. We can check out another color as well. So X out and then add another, and we have spring green. Green is one of my favorite colors. So again, I'm just going to go with the color that's on the screen and confirm. And then again, it's going to show us again on the left-hand side, you see the black. On the right-hand side, you see the white. And in between is the color that you selected. And then from then on, you're going to see some midpoints between each phase, which are highlighted here, the different saturations. And so again, love white, but I also want to go with another form of white in my designated color. So I'm going to click and copy that figuratively. And then again, you have your main color here, spring green, and then your text color will be the one all the way at the top. That's if you choose to do that. Now, another thing that we kind of mess up on is not having a clear picture of the types of colors that we use, the fonts that we're using, the logos that we're using, the design elements that we're using. And I'm going to explain all of that in a different video. But I do want to quickly introduce you to what a brand style guide is before I end this video and wrap it up. So let's take a quick look at that. Bear with me for one moment. So here I am in my Canva account, and this is actually a brand style guide that I've created for our online shop. And so you'll be able to purchase that hopefully by the time this video is up. I'll put the link up once it's ready for you guys so that you can purchase it and fill it in with your brand information. Now, again, I'll talk about this in another video, but the brand style guide helps you to have a cohesive look because it tells you what exactly you need to do in your branding. So you see right off the top, you have your primary logo, your secondary logo, and your brand mark. I'll go ahead to explain those in the next video. But again, you'll also have your color palette. So you see all those different hex codes that we came up with, the different saturations. You're going to put all of that in this area down here where it says color palette. Each pardon me, each color had a name. I know it says font name right now, but excuse that, it should say color name. And then you're going to have that in there because every single time you create something visually, you want to make sure that you're using the right colors that people can identify you with. And so you don't want to go there and just pick whatever color, like blindfold yourself and just click on whatever color appears and then run with that. You want to be more uniformed. You want to have a method to your madness, for lack of a better term. And you want to be professional. You want people to be able to identify who you are from a mile away. So please, please, please stop choosing random colors and be intentional about the types of colors that you want to represent your brand and go from there. All right. So before we close out, I'm going to show you one of our offers. Please join Pharmacy Lab, which is our free community, and then become a beneficiary by joining our newsletter. Again, those commercials will roll out before we finally end, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Again, I'm going to say that for you. Please like and subscribe and share it with a friend who you feel will will benefit from this knowledge, okay? We don't want any templates out there looking crazy. So, make sure you tune in for more episodes from us as we make it your own in this design academy. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Introducing the Pharmacy Lab, where visionary entrepreneurs unite to build unforgettable brands. Are you tired of feeling like your brand is just a face in the crowd? Do you dream of creating a loyal community that advocates for your business? You're not alone. Building a remarkable brand requires more than just a great product or service. It demands a deep understanding of your audience, a clear vision, and a supportive community to help you bring it all together. That's why we created the Pharmacy Lab, a vibrant community of entrepreneurs who are passionate about crafting amazing brands that leave a lasting impact. Are you ready to join the movement? If you're an entrepreneur who's passionate about building an unforgettable brand, we invite you to join the Pharmacy Lab today. So visit pharmacylab.com to join. Have you tapped into your pharmacy benefits? As a beneficiary, you unlock special offers, gifts, and always stay in the loop. Subscribe today to receive your exclusive dose. Visit pharmacybenefits.com.